Awesome. Well, welcome everybody to the June 1st, 2021 new student orientation for the Tempe campus. I wanted to introduce our meeting host for tonight, and that's going to be Raymond James, your Director of Admissions, who you just heard from there just a little bit. And then myself, Jennifer Greenwood, I'm the Director of Student Services for Brookline. And Ray and I are going to be taking you through a lot of really cool things tonight. Some of the topics that we'll cover will include things like your campus welcome. We'll hear from your campus director, your director of education, and we'll talk about some of the other important support contacts that we have here at the campus for you. Then we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about your student account and the different things that you have available to you within that account, like your email address, your Office 365 account. We're going to look at the student portal. We're going to talk a little bit about the online classroom and where to get help. We'll go over our academic requirements and a checklist for success, and we'll make sure that you know what your next steps are before the session ends today. So without any further ado, I want to turn it over to Ray so he can introduce himself a little bit to you, talk a little bit about your next steps from an admissions perspective, and then we'll move forward. So Ray, it's all yours.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So yes,
Welcome.
The name is Raymond James. I do go by Ray. It is what it is. I feel like when somebody calls me Raymond, I'm in trouble. So so by all means, please call me Ray. Yes, I am the director of admissions. I have been in admissions for almost 20 years. I love it. I have been able to work with all kinds of different students, mainly because I was this type of student as well. So I went to a school very similar to this, mainly because I wanted to get in, I wanted to get out, because mainly I've got kids. And so understanding what you guys are going through, I will be able to assist as you go through, me and my team, which you have met extensively, to help you get in and do everything that you need. I am previous military, so if you do have some military questions, things like that, I sometimes can help. If not, I know where to go. So one of the things that we really like to focus on here is your why. Mainly because doing this it's a lot. There's a lot of things that you go through to make sure that you've got everything that you need and that you are successful. And that's what we want. We want you to be successful, mainly because it's not just about going to school, but it's also about having that career when you're done. No longer having a job, but having a career. So if you have any questions or anything like that, please, you can always add them into the chat. I'm going to be doing question and answers at the very end of this as well. So we'll get to know each other very well at the end.
And thank you so much, Ray. Ray is a wonderful, wonderful asset to the Tempe campus here at Brookline. I think you'll really enjoy getting to know him. Thank you so much, Ray. And I'm sure we'll be hearing a little bit more from you as well. I also wanted to introduce you to your campus director, Maria Walters. Maria, would you like to say a few words?
Absolutely. You never want to
Awesome.
hand me over the mic if you're not ready for me to speak. So the first thing I want to do is thank every one of you for being here, for choosing us. We are very aware that you had other choices, and we take the responsibility and your trust in us to really carry you through this part of your life. With a lot of honor and a lot of pride. I'm very much like Ray. I started my education in a school similar to this. I was in the Air Force and raising children and being a housewife and deploying, etc., while getting my degree. So I'm very well familiar with the challenges that you as students are going to go through. And I will tell you, you will never look back. You will never look back. This will be one of the best things you will ever do for yourselves and for your family and for everybody that comes behind you as well. So it's not going to be easy. There's going to be challenges, and all of us here that you're going to meet today and then beyond are here to help you because we understand. But I will tell you, the one thing that we really need from you is show up. Show up. Do your work, and let us know when you have problems. You know, your biggest predictor of success is attendance. It doesn't matter what your socioeconomic level, how many children you have at home, how many jobs you're holding. If you show up, and when you show up, you do your work. And if you are having trouble in doing your work, you raise your hand and you say, I need help. We will get that to you. Those are 3 key pieces to your success. So thank you very much for being here. We look forward to meeting you in person, or on email, or on a text, or on the phone. We are not far away from you. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Maria. Another wonderful and amazing important part of the campus is to get to know your campus director. So definitely take the time to reach out, introduce yourself, and let Maria know your why as well. So thank you both so far. Another extremely important person to our campus is Stephanie Nuring, our Director of Education. Stephanie, would you like to share a few words?
Thanks, Jen. Hi, everyone. I just wanted to, pop in and say hello and welcome. We're excited that you're starting your academic journey with us. This is a journey. There'll be times where you're walking uphill, and there'll be times where it's feeling a little bit easier and you're walking downhill. But I want to remind you to always celebrate your wins, big ones and small ones. It's important. Share your journey with your family and your friends. Let them know what you're doing. Include them in your wins. Ask them for support when you need it. Ask us for support when you need it. You have an entire academic team here backing your program. So we will reach out to you periodically through your program, just to touch base, make sure that you're doing okay. If you have questions, sometimes just to remind you that we're here and that we're available. Even though you may be taking your classes in the online platform, you still have an entire team of people here at the Tempe campus that would love to meet with you, work with you, just get to know you a little bit. So don't hesitate to reach out to us if you need anything, or you have questions, or even if you just need, somebody to give you a little pep talk or cheer you on to the next class. So I am looking forward to meeting you, and I'm so glad to have you here at Brookline.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. We really appreciate you being here to support the students. And we'll learn a little bit more about some of the academic requirements. We're going to take a look at inside our classrooms and how to navigate in there. And that's kind of where you'll find some of your faculty support as well. So we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Another person we wanted to make you aware of, although Luma is not here today, is that your Director of Financial Aid. When you have questions about your financial aid award letter or the FAFSA, for example, our Director of Financial Aid and her team are responsible to make sure that all of your financial aid is set up and packaged. And they will be reaching out to you periodically to do FAFSA updates and things like that. So just to get to know who to reach out to there for the director level, that would be Luma Arabi, and she is located directly at the Tempe office. Another wonderful individual I'd like to introduce you to is your academic advisor. His name is Greg LaPriori. Greg, you're with us tonight, aren't you?
I am here,
Yay.
yes.
Would you like to introduce yourself to the team? Talk a little bit about what you work on and how you might be able to help them.
Absolutely, I'd be more than happy to. And thank you so much for that introduction, Jen. I do appreciate it. I just want to say welcome to all the new students. We're very, very happy to have you here. As Jen stated, my name is Greg LaPriori. My full name is Gregory, but like Ray said earlier, if I get the full name Gregory, it means I'm in a world of trouble. So please call me Greg. I've been in a academic advising counseling role for over 16 years. It's something I'm very, very passionate about. I am dedicated to supporting each and every one of you in any way that I can as you progress through your journey here at Brookline. I like to say there are no silly questions. I'd be very honest with all of you. I get a little scared if a student comes to me and says they don't have any questions because I know they're out there. Despite this picture, because it looks like I'm about to spontaneously combust or something like that, I am a very nice individual. I like to tell a lot of what I'd like to call dad jokes. But I'm here in a supportive role in anything that comes up academically speaking. please feel free to reach out to me in whatever way you're comfortable, whether it's phone, email, text message. If you'd like to meet virtually, I'm more than happy. I will bend over backwards for students. I always like to say that I will juggle running chainsaws. I will wrestle alligators. I will jump through flaming hoops. If you need it, I will try and do it for you. The one thing that I can say here, just in closing, is just make sure to communicate with us. We are not here to yell or stand on soapboxes, or, well, I would stand on a soapbox because it makes me taller, but we're here to help in whatever way that we can. So don't ever hesitate to reach out. There's no situation that's too big, too small, whatever it is, we can tackle it together. And on that note, I just want to once again welcome all of you, and I look forward to having the opportunity to work with you.
Awesome. That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Greg, for coming this evening and talking to the students a little bit about what you do. We appreciate you. Greg's an integral part of the team. And, he might reach out to you to say, hey, I saw that maybe you're struggling a little bit in class. I have some great resource ideas for you. So we're going to actually talk a little bit about what some of the help is that you can receive here while you're a student. So we'll come back to that. What I'd like to do is give you an introduction to one other super important person here at the campus, and that's your career services advisor, Jesse Pollard. Jesse, are you with us tonight? Would you like to say a couple words?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I am here. Hello,
Awesome.
everybody.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. So yes, I'm here, and everybody kind of works together to culminate you into the final piece, which is career services. And everybody else that you've heard from, they're all working to get you to meet the end result of getting you that career. You heard Ray talk about it eloquently. He was like, hey, we want you to have a career. We don't want you to have a job. And that's where I come in, because I want you to have a career. And I can't make promises like, oh, as soon as you finish, you're going to get a job. But my goal is that by the time you finish, you are working in your field. If not by the time you finish school, shortly after. My goal that I set for myself is that every student that graduates, I want to have them employed within 6 months, because in that 6 month time frame, you're going to have bills that are going to be coming due, and student loans will start to become due. So I really want you to get employed and making money and doing what you love as quickly as possible. So that's why I'm here, and that's my goal. And I position that Greg's in. I will do anything for you that I can. Now, obviously, I can't do the interview for you, but I will do everything leading up. I will help you work on your resume. I will help you prep for interview questions. We can do mock interviews. I'll answer any questions you have. I can send you sample, hey, this is how you apply for this job, or this is how you would fill out that application, or this is how you would answer that question. Anything I can do to help you along your path to getting a job, I am going to do it for you. My one ask is that you put in the work, because like I said, I can't do the interview for you. I can't answer your phone when they call you for an interview. So as long as you can do those things, we're going to work well together, and I will do my best to have you employed within 6 months of graduating. It doesn't happen all the time, just because there's lots of factors that depend on, the job market and all sorts of stuff. But that's my goal, and I'm pretty good at hitting that mark. I'm at about a 75% for getting people hired within 6 months right now. And so I'm striving to get that higher. I love it to be about, 80, 85%. And I think we'll get there. And with you guys and your help, I think we can achieve that goal. So I'm happy to work with you. Also, you don't have to wait till the end. I am the end point, because once you graduate, you want a career in your field, but I'm going to help you along the way. So don't wait like, oh, I'm going to graduate in a week. Oh, I should probably talk to Jesse and find out what I'm going to do for work. How about you talk to me beforehand? Because when you're starting out, you might need a job just to help out while you're in school, cover some bills. I can help with that too. So I'm here anytime you need me. Don't hesitate to reach out. Also, if you're like, hey, I don't know who I should talk to about this, you can talk to me about pretty much anything school related. If I don't know the answer, I definitely know who to reach out to, and I can point you in the right direction. So we're gonna have a lot of fun getting you employed and getting you ready, because I don't like to just tell you, hey, here's some job leads. Like, I like to really work with you and get to know you. And I think you guys are really gonna love it here. You're supported by a great system. I think And I don't say this lightly. I think everybody at this campus are rock stars, like all of the support staff. Anybody I've ever asked to help me with a student, they've helped me right away. And it's amazing here. And I love working here. And I think you're going to love being a student here. Thank you so much for your time today, guys. And I really, really look forward to working with you. And if you're in the boat right now and you're thinking, man, I could really use a job, great. You're started. Reach out to me right away and I'll help you set that up. Might not be in your field, but we'll try and see if we can get you something close to it. Thanks, guys.
Oh, Jesse, you're so awesome. And Jesse's serious. He really will do that. And we do have quite a large number of affiliations with different organizations, across the state and in the local area. So there's just what you see here on the screen. There's just a large, large number of opportunities. So thanks, Jesse. The other thing that we do have quite a lot of, and Ray, I don't know if you want to speak to the campus activities. Would you like to talk a little bit about that?
I would love to.
I knew you would.
Yes,
Awesome.
yes,
Thanks.
absolutely. So for campus activities, yes, we do a lot of things while we are on campus. And you know what? I know COVID took a little bit of that away. But at the same time, we want you to feel comfortable while you're on campus and know that you are supported as you go through. So you do see that we talk about holiday events and even guest speakers and financial literacy, because we want you to know how money works, things like that, and also field trips, virtual as well as actual field trips. So a lot of things that we actually do on campus as well as virtual. And yes, that is me on the far right dressed as the beast. So I like Halloween is what it is. So you can go to the next one.
I was gonna say, I think that is just an absolutely fantastic photograph. I really do. So hang 1 second here. I have just unfortunately messed up my display. So let me just go ahead and share
Oh,
with you
it's
again.
okay.
Can you see the screen for student responsibilities?
I cannot.
You cannot. All right, how about now?
Oh, now we can
Thanks,
see it.
everybody.
Yes, there we go.
Thank you for tolerating our technical difficulties. Do you want to talk a little bit about the catalog?
Absolutely. So yes, so one of the student responsibilities is literally knowing your catalog. And so the catalog for college is mainly like, for use of maybe even different words, it's like the school's Bible. It's the things that we live by, and so everything is in there. So whether it's policies or questions about financial aid or career services or even student services, or hey, I want to know when I'm going to graduate or anything like that, all of that is in your catalog. Now, one of the awesome things about your paperwork is that you actually received a link in your paperwork while you were filling that out. And it literally looked just like this, where you have a link to. But it's in your portal. So as you guys logged in through Microsoft 365 and then all the, oh my God, I can't speak. And then obviously into your education portal, you have a link straight to your catalog. So you always have access to it. And then in doubt, or in doubt, or I guess in other words, yes, in doubt, you can always go to the Brookline website. And at the very bottom, you will see a link to the catalog there too. So you have all kinds of ways of getting to that. So student responsibilities also goes into participation. Now, many of your classes, you may have virtual classes. So let's kind of talk about that a little bit. So there is a difference between an online class and a virtual class. And I know many of you are thinking, that sounds the same, but it's honestly not. Virtual class is if you had a class where you actually had a live lecture. So for instance, medical assistants, you have class at either 8 to 12 or 6 to 10 at night. Your first class is actually going to be an online class where you would have to log in and do work and submit work at certain times throughout the class. But when you get into your second class, you're going to have a combination of actually on campus classes and virtual classes, where you may be on campus for 2 days a week, and then your other 2 days you'll be virtual, where you'll have to log in for the 4 hours like you normally would. So when we do those virtual classes, it is participation. So you want to be actively part of your class, meaning that you would need to have your camera on, be presentable, not having a lot of stuff going on, things like that. You want to make sure you are actually in class. Now, attendance wise for an online class, thank you so much for moving that slide,
No
is just
problem.
that.
I
So
realized maybe it would be helpful to see it. I thought, oh, okay. I figured that would help.
no problem. So yes, so online class attendance. So once again, that would be logging in and actually doing something that what we call gradable. So for instance, your first gradable assignment, believe it or not, is reading your syllabus. And then after that, it's answering a discussion question. Obviously, there's going to be people that you would work in with that are actually in your class, but then you may have quizzes and work to turn in, things like that. Those are all gradable. And so we want to make sure that you're able to do those things. And so my team and I will be reaching out to you in your first week for sure. Obviously, you have other people, but we'll be making sure that you don't have any questions or anything like that. Now, you see at the last point there, it says if a student misses 14 consecutive days of class, they are in violation of the attendance policy and are withdrawn. And that's the last thing that we want. We want to make sure that you get your questions answered and you feel comfortable as you go through. But we also want to make sure that you're able to get in and get the things that you need done without any issues. So it's we talked about earlier for attendance. So these are, examples of attendance. So submitting a discussion post, turning in a written assignment, your live lectures, as we talked about, mind tap exercises, which is something that Ms. Green was going to go over in a few, and then taking your quiz. Now, the things that aren't attendance, right? So just reading your textbook. Yes, we want you to read your textbook, but at the same time, we want to make sure that hey, just reading my textbook is not attendance. Reviewing any announcements. Watching a live lecture recording. So if it's a recording, unfortunately, it's not attendance. But if it's live, it is attendance. And Ms. Green will talk about that too a little bit later. And then doing library research, even typing a paper. So these are things that aren't considered attendance. So we want to make sure that you knew the difference between that. So satisfactory academic lips aren't working today progress. So we call it SAP. So we want to make sure that you are making progress towards your end goal, which is obviously graduation and your career. So I'm just going to quickly read it. So satisfactory academic progress applies to all students and is necessary in order to maintain eligibility for enrollment and to maintain eligibility for financial aid programs and VA education. And it is just that. We want to make sure that anything that revolves around your academic progress is something that you are ready to go for and that it is not going to hinder your progress. You'll see right there, it says satisfactory academic progress is measured at the end of each payment period for all programs, which is mainly the end of each class. A student's failure to meet these standards will result in the student being placed on financial aid, academic warning, financial aid, academic probation, and or dismissal from the college or dismissal from the participation in the financial aid programs. And nobody wants that. So we want to make sure that as you go through, like I said, you are focused on school and that way you get to your end goal, which is
To
which
graduate.
which is to graduate.
Yay!
Absolutely.
Here's a little bit more detail about the programmatic stuff too. Ray, if you want me, I can kind of talk a little bit about this. We
Yes.
review you. Basically, what happens is if your classes are 5 weeks long, your payment period is either going to be 3 classes or 4 classes, depending on your program. So just bear in mind that about every 3 to 4 classes, you'll be reviewed. and you need to make sure that you're passing your core courses with a 70% or higher, and that's a C. That's going to be the case whether you're in a diploma, associate's, bachelor's, or master's degree. Now, there are some of our programs that require general education courses. Those would be your associate's programs, and I believe, Ray, your surgical technology, for example, is an associate's, right?
Correct. But that
So
won't be starting right now.
that's okay. That's
Mhm.
a good example. If you're in a bachelor's program, as long as you are passing those with a 60% or higher, then that's okay. Obviously, we want you to get a C or better in every class because the minimum grade point average requirement for graduation is actually a 2.0 for diploma, associates, and bachelor's. And then in the master's degree, it's a 3.0. But part of why Greg is here and your program directors are here is to check in with you periodically to make sure that you're meeting these requirements. Okay. And then Ray, would you like me to cover the getting help section?
Sure.
All right, fantastic. So if you're wondering, it looks like we have the wrong slide here, so I'm going to pass this. If you're when you get into class, if you are looking for some assistance with regard to your coursework, we always recommend that you reach out to your instructors, but just know we have a lot of other help available to you through BrainFuse. BrainFuse Help Now is a tutoring service that's connected into every single class and allows you to receive live one-on-one tutoring, in some cases 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Our math and our English topics are 24/7. So if you're having trouble writing a paper, you're in the middle of doing maybe an algebra problem, maybe you're confused, you can connect up with voice to voice and screen sharing with a tutor right through your online classroom. We also have a writing lab where you are eligible to submit papers and have your paper reviewed. It just is a 24-hour turnaround time. Now you have free tutoring in the amount of 3 hours every single month. We track it by the minute. So if you use the service, you're only ever using it by the minute. That's a total of 180 minutes every single month that you have at no charge. There are a number of other items within the system, like e-parachute, some online quizzes and games. There are places for you to form study groups if you'd like to, but primarily the big, great thing about this service is the live online tutoring when you need it. Now, there are some subjects that are not 24/7, and we'll walk through how to show you that schedule here when we go into a live demo with the class. The other thing that we have in terms of services for you is going to be our Well Connect service, and that's for things like counseling, financial and legal support, and other resource referrals. If you have questions about Well Connect once you get started, definitely reach out to Greg LaPriori. You're welcome to reach out to myself or even one of our other staff members, and we can get you pointed in the right direction. But Well Connect is a free service as well to you. Now, I'd love it, Ray, if you wouldn't mind talking a little bit about the ambassador program there, if you're still on with us, this one and maybe the
Absolutely.
graduation slide. Thank you. Awesome.
Yep, I love the ambassador program too. So the ambassador program is a leadership program for students, right? So this is that peer-to-peer tutoring and mentorship. So this is when, if you had an issue, or if you have a question, or hey, I just need a little bit of extra help in a class, there are students that are in this program, and when you're on campus, they're very easy to spot because they're actually in red colored scrubs. So your normal scrubs are blue, ambassadors are in red, and we make them bright red so that way you can find them easily. But they also deal with community engagement, they do volunteer work, and there's plenty of leadership opportunities that are out there as well. And it always, one of my favorite things is that it builds your resume. So this is definitely something I tell all of my students to take advantage in. And graduation. So graduation, believe it or not, even more than orientation, I love, right? Mainly because it's the culmination of everything that you've gone through. So that hard work and that dedication and the excellent attendance, all of those things that go along with you getting to the end, right? Now, obviously, we want to have that career, right? But this is the step literally right before. Sometimes it's after. Some of our students actually find work before they graduated, you know what I mean, or gone through their ceremony. So that's always exciting, right? But my favorite two things on there, and I left them off on purpose, is the positive attitude and no excuses. So this is when I tell my students, hey, have you ever dealt with anybody who wasn't positive on the phone and you had to ask a question and they were weird and nasty or anything like that? It's hard to contact. Don't be that. Okay. So it's also about the no excuses, because what you've gone through is leaps and bounds, and now this is a time for you to share that with your family and friends, talking about I did it, and then you even tell other people, hey, I did it, you should do it too. So we have an amazing referral program. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But honestly, graduation, no excuses.
All right. Well, next up, we're going to talk a little bit about the student account. So I'll be covering that. And then we'll be wrapping back up with Ray and Greg. I know Greg's with us. Greg, if you know how, I'd love it if you could answer any chat questions that might come through as we go through this part of the presentation. First of all, everybody, we just wanted to let you know that we're going to go through just to cover at a high level the login process here for the college. If you have heard from us already about our help sessions, great. If not, we're going to be sending out a reminder after this session this evening to get you invited to those help sessions that we're running. Essentially what we do on Friday afternoon, or if you're in Arizona, which most of you are, I would assume, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Friday, we will be holding a live session for those that need help logging in, accessing your ebooks, or anything else. We have sessions on Tuesday as well, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific time, which is still in Arizona time, and then a second one from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Tuesday. Since our start day is Tuesday, we're doing those two sessions. We also can help you in a one-on-one format. If for some reason these times don't suit you, you could just let us know and we will be there to assist you. So here's what those times look like, and expect to receive an invitation to those here this evening. Now, to give you an idea of what we cover in those as well as tonight, we're going to walk through the three-step login process. We're going to talk about your student email account and your Microsoft Office 365 that you'll have access to. We are going to discuss we're going to review logging into the student portal at my.brooklinecollege.edu. And then from there, we're going to go over how you access the online classroom. Your student email account should have been provided to you when you enrolled. You may have received an email with your student email address and a temporary password. If you're not sure what those items are, or you can't find them in your email, just let us know in the chat, and then we will follow up with you after the session to get that student email account information sent to you. You, along with all other students, receive that free account along with a Microsoft Office 365 subscription. Microsoft Office has some really great office productivity software applications like Microsoft Word, where you might type a paper or a business letter when you're in employment at a doctor's office or something like that. It also includes a spreadsheet tool, a presentation tool, and contains your email. We're going to actually take a look at that here in a couple of minutes, but that is so important because it is required to log into the student portal and the online classroom. So on the screen, I'm just giving you some very high level steps on how to get into your student email account. This information should have already been sent to you, like I said, but just in case, it's actually pretty straightforward. And I have some screenshots of this that I can show you, but we're essentially going to take you to office.com. And then we're going to have you sign in there with your student email address and temporary password, then create a new password and verify your personal email and or telephone number for future password resets and for security purposes. And so to get this process started, if you haven't already done this, you will be visiting office.com, and then you'll simply click on the sign in button and then walk through the prompts on my screen. You'll see them on your own. When you go about doing this, you'll be entering in your email address and updating your password. From there, you'll verify your cell phone number. The reason why you'll be doing this is we try to keep our systems protected for your security. So when you go to log in each time, you will be prompted to enter in a 6-digit verification code to your cell phone. So when you go through these steps, don't be surprised that it says it will need more information and that you will need to select the United States and enter in your phone number and have the system text you. Hopefully some of you have already gone through this process. If you haven't, this is just a high-level overview. We're not expecting you to remember everything we talk about right now. We do have sessions and we can meet with you individually. But essentially, you'll receive a 6-digit code to your cell phone. You'll go ahead and type that in to verify it. You can do the same thing for your personal email account, although that is not required. The phone is, so you definitely want to go through the steps of setting this up before Tuesday, okay? And again, we can help you with that. But if you do decide to verify your personal email, you'll go through the exact same steps. Just watch for the email to come from MS Online Services team. That's Microsoft Office's team, and that's because our accounts are actually created through Microsoft. You'll notice that it will come from Unitech Learning, and Unitech Learning is our parent company. We're part of the Unitech Learning family of schools, and you can see that illustrated right in here in the email message that you'll receive. And again, you'll simply type that 6-digit code in and you'll click finish. From there, you'll click stay signed in, and that actually takes you to the Microsoft Office platform. Now, I'm actually going to see if I can go live here really quick for you to give you an idea of what it is like to be in the Microsoft Office system. Just bear with me 1 second because I want to share a different screen with you, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and share my live computer screen. All right, so here what you see is when you are logged into your Office 365 account, and here you can see I'm just at office.com. One of the really great things to do with this would be maybe to save it to your favorites. You can do that by clicking this star and adding that bookmark like that. And then what you'll notice on the left-hand side is you have some online applications you have access to. You have Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. And then Outlook, that's going to be your school email tool. Now you can look up your emails here. So if I were to click on this, it will open a new window and it will take me into my email account. I don't necessarily have to look at my email here. If I want to, we do have the opportunity for you to download the Microsoft Outlook app in order to get into your email that way. Google Play, also Google Play and Apple, iTunes, iPhone Store, they actually have it too. I have it on my
Jen?
machine. Yes.
Yeah, pardon me. Just we see a note in the chat from Amanda that she's not seeing your screen.
Oh no. Can anyone see it now? Anybody? Can you see
I
it,
can
Greg?
see your screen.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
She can see it now. Okay, we're
Oh, good. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I probably had just had it paused. So thank you for letting me know. I appreciate it. So what I was just showing, in case you didn't see it, is to access your school email within Office, you can just go right to Outlook. There's an app here, but you can also download Microsoft Outlook, the application for your cell phone as well. And this is just like a normal inbox. When you click on things, you can read through them. You can create a new message by clicking new message. And again, this is all part of the Microsoft Office suite of programs. Now, one of the things we do recommend is that students install Microsoft Office on their machines because these application versions are actually abbreviated versions of the full software. So while I can open up a Word document here, I don't have all of the same tools I might have if I had Microsoft Word on my machine. This up at the top here, it takes a few minutes to load. This is a ribbon, that's what they call it. And it's got some of the features, but not all of the features, which is why we recommend that you actually download Office. And so I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get back here. There we go. And another thing that I wanted to point out to you is you do have this OneDrive service, which is up to 1 terabyte of storage. And that means you can store your papers out on the cloud and be able to access them from a multitude of different computers. Essentially, by just simply logging into office.com on any machine, you should be able to have access to those saved documents. In the case of actually installing Office like this, you'd simply click on this button, click on Office 365 apps, and then just follow the on-screen prompts in order to run the application, say yes to start installing, and then the installation itself takes about 20 minutes, and you will want to sign in with your school account. Now, for many of you, mine's going to be a little bit different because I'm an employee. Yours will probably say at my.brooklinecollege.edu if you're a new student. If you are a returning student from a leave of absence, it might say at student.brooklinecollege. Either one of those, it's fine. Again, if you're not sure what your email address is and you're not logged into here yet, we definitely want you to do that before Tuesday. So let us know if you're having any trouble getting in. All right. Now, I actually need to return back to my PowerPoint because some of the slides that I have, I can't actually show you directly on my screen here. So let me just go ahead and get us reset up for the slide presentation. And let's take a look. So I mentioned this already earlier, and that is that you can use the Microsoft Outlook app to access email if you don't want to always log into your computer to access that. So go to the App Store, look for Microsoft Outlook app. You're going to look for the little blue envelope with the little white O for Outlook, and that's the app that you need. Once you've downloaded it, just go ahead and add account, and then you'll simply type in your student email address and password. You should be all set. So that's a little bit about Office and your student email account. Now, the really important thing is you've got to activate that before you can move on to step 2, because you will not be able to log into the student portal until you have actually set up your new password and set up your cell phone number for security purposes. You won't be able to get in here. And again, tomorrow we have a lot of time to work with you to get you ready. And then we have some additional help sessions Tuesday. So once you have activated your Office account, you'll be going to the student portal at my.brooklinecollege.edu. You'll simply click on log in the upper right corner as I have illustrated, and then you'll click on student portal homepage. And I have that in red here, so it's a little bit easier to see. And once you've gotten logged in, you'll notice that you have a page here. A couple of things I pointed out is that there's a holds and alerts area in this upper right corner. There's a glance area where you should be able to see some schedule and things like that. If not, don't worry if these things aren't here. Where we're really going to be going is to this area called external links to get into our classroom. Before we go there, though, I actually want to look at this. This is the menu. Sorry, it looks a little bit funny because it's over here. But if you look at this menu, you'll notice there's a couple of things in here I just wanted to call to your attention. One of them is if you click on the academics drop down within the student portal, you can see your attendance there. Your unofficial transcripts can be printed from there. You can look at your course schedule. And once you start completing classes, you'll be able to see your GPA, which stands for grade point average. And that really kind of tells you how you're coming along as far as satisfactory academic progress. Remember, we said you needed a 2.0 GPA in order to graduate. So you'll be able to see things in there like your final grades as well. Also, another item I'd like to point out is the My Finances area. That's where you can see a little bit about your financial aid for your 1098T. And then finally, the financial aid award letter is actually under the My Financial Aid area. So for our next step, I did want to draw attention, and this is kind of important because it's our next step, and that is logging into Canvas. You will be able to log into Canvas right from the student portal by clicking on external links. And then from external links, there'll be a little drop down that pops down here. You'll click on Brookline College Online and Brookline Canvas LMS. Now, a lot of students will call us or contact tech support when they click on this because they say that it won't open anything. So I wanted to explain why. If you click on this, nothing happens. Say you click on it, it just refreshes the page but doesn't go anywhere. Chances are you have to allow pop-ups on your browser. If it's your first time visiting the student portal and clicking on the Canvas link, it won't open because of the pop-up blocker. And that's 99% of the time what students experience and contact us. So that's why we're showing it to you now. In order to allow pop-ups, you need to actually go to the upper right corner of the browser and click on the, if you're in Google Chrome particularly, you'll click on the little X in the upper right corner next to the star in your browser. And then if you're using Firefox, which a lot of folks also use, it's much easier to see. It's a bright yellow ribbon. And in a minute, we're going to take a look at what this looks like. in a live environment. Just wanted to give you a couple of screenshots of it first. Once you have gone in here, if you click on the X, and sometimes it'll look like a little red box with a white X, depending on how new or old your Google Chrome, or I think Edge also does the same thing. It looks like a little X or a red square with a white X. When you see that, you want to click on it and then always allow pop-ups and click done. Once you've done this, the system may require you to click on this one more time. Usually with Google Chrome and Safari and some of the others, you have to click on this a second time once you have allowed the pop-ups. I do know with Firefox, once you allow it, usually just takes you right to the page. The page you would see next, if this is your first time getting into Canvas from the student portal, is going to be to access the acceptable use policy. You'll then click I agree and then submit. And this is where we're going to go into the live environment, which will be some fun for us. You'll end up on your online classroom or Canvas dashboard. So Canvas is the product we use for your online classroom, and it's going to be where you will be able to turn in assignments, access your ebooks, and complete a variety of different things. So what we're going to do next is we're actually going to do a little bit of Canvas classroom navigation. We are going to take a look at the dashboard, the course and course menu. We're going to look at modules, grades, and your pages, which is your student resources area. So I'm going to go ahead and pause my screen, and I'm going to, once again, I'm going to go into our live environment. So just bear with me one moment and I will get us right there. 1 second. Okay, looks like we're in here. Greg, if you don't mind, can you tell me if you can see my dashboard?
If I could find the mute button, yes, I can see your dashboard.
Yay, thank you. And guys, listen, if you haven't gotten in here yet, don't worry. Just let us know in the chat. And then tomorrow you can either attend our help session, or Greg or I or one of our other staff members can reach out and help you. So don't worry. If you're not in here, just sit back, relax, and kind of watch the general demo. Sorry about this little message there. We'll get us started. So I'm going to start with our dashboard menu, which is over on the left-hand side. And there's just a couple of key things we're going to look at here. And I have actually a few more items. Like you won't have this admin button and you won't have this commons button. But the button we're going to start with is the very top one, and we're going to work our way down. So this is an account button, and it is essentially a flyout menu that allows you to then go ahead and click on other items here. I'm only going to focus on your profile, and then we're going to look at settings, and that's it for today. So when we click on profile, that is where you can actually edit your picture. If you want to add a picture, you can click on choose picture or upload a picture, and then look on your desktop for a photograph that you can use. And I'm hoping I can find one here. Here's an older one of me. I'll go ahead and add that in. And there's my picture. I can just hit save, and then that will update me. So we would love to see your smiling face if you wouldn't mind adding your photo in here. And then the other thing we'd like for you to add is your cell phone number, so that if your instructor needs to reach out, they have a way to get to you quickly right from within Canvas rather than going into some other systems. So to do that, we will go down here under contact and click on settings. And just to give you a little hint, settings is also over here on the left. So either way is fine. Then we're actually going to go way over here and click on contact method. And I'm going to show you how to add a phone number. Okay, so I'm going to click contact method. Here is a phone number for me. I need to select a carrier for my cell phone. And then what that does is it formats it into an email address, and then you'll click register SMS. The system should send you a code, and then you'll type that 3-digit code in, and then you'll click confirm. Now, this is not my real code, so I'm actually just going to close out of it. But what you can see is it does have my phone numbers listed here now. Okay, so that's simple. And that is, again, under the account button. The place where we land when we first come in here from the student portal is our dashboard, and this is the dashboard button. On the dashboard, you should see at least one course. Your live permanent courses probably are not pushed out to you yet, but you should see a CC 100 class. If you don't, we can get you added in about 2 seconds. So just let us know in the chat if you cannot see CC 100 Canvas Connect for the 6-1 start, because this is a practice class we give you in order to practice doing a couple of things, which I'll be showing you here shortly. But this is where your classes will appear. If you do not see these class cards, I think they call them cards. If you don't see them, you can actually come up here to the dashboard view area just to make sure you're on card view. There are a couple of other views. I won't get into those. I just prefer card view. I can see my class and easily click on it right here. Okay. A couple of other things on the dashboard you'll see is anything that is due this week. And then you may see some things coming up for the following week. Okay. And that's pretty much what is on this dashboard button. You also have an alternative way to get into your courses through the course flyout menu. As you can see, I'm just clicking through it, and we're just wanting you to know that you can do just the same kind of thing. You can come in here and play around. You can't break anything, but that's just an alternative way to click on your course to get directly into it that way. Okay. The other thing that you have access to on the dashboard menu is a consolidated course calendar, and it will show you everything that is due in all of your classes. So if you are taking 2 or more at a time, it's just an easier way to see everything at once. Now, each class has its own calendar. So if this is too much information for you, just know once we get into the classes, we'll show you where to find that calendar. But that's essentially how it will work for you. Now, I'm not a student, so I don't really have any homework assignments, but that's really what that is for. The next item is your inbox. If there is a little blue dot next to it, it means that you have an unread message. Now, I don't have any unread messages, but I'm going to click on it to show you that if one of my messages had been unread, this would be filled in as a blue circle. There would be a blue circle here with a number 1 saying I have 1 message. When I'm ready to read my messages, I'll simply click on this icon to get in here, and then I can actually click directly on the message to review it. And then if I wanted to respond to my instructor, if they'd emailed me, I simply click on the reply button, type in my answer. Just going to go ahead and put that there so you can see, you can just type right in if you want to, as you can see. And then I would hit send. That would go directly to the person that wrote me a message. Okay. The other really quick way to get a hold of an instructor, let's say you have an urgent need, you just want to get to them right away. You don't want to have to go through responding. Some people don't really want to have to go through this compose message either, because it makes you select your course and then it makes you go and find your instructor that way. And it can be a little bit, a little bit long-winded, not necessarily the best or easiest way to do it, but you can do it that way. Your alternative is you can come right down to the help button. So remember, we went for inbox. You come down to this help button and look, it's a flyout menu. So we're still near the inbox, but with this flyout menu, there are a couple of things you can do. You can contact us in student services. You can contact technical support at their 800 number or their email address, but you can also ask your instructor a question simply by clicking on that, selecting your course, and sending your message like that. Quick and easy, and that goes directly to your instructor. Just know that this inbox is only in the class and is not connected to your office.com email in any way. So you're going to want to check your school email address periodically for administrative announcements and updates, whereas you'll be using this system to communicate with your instructors. The other button you'll notice underneath this is going to be a history button. It's not really that useful. It just shows you where you have been in the system recently. And then again, here we have our help button. And that's the menu. So what I'd like to do now is actually take you into a course and give you a quick overview of our practice course. And hopefully I'll see you in there and you can start to play around in here and learn how to do some things. So let's scroll down to my class, which is the CC100 Canvas Connect. And to enter your class, you simply click on it. It's that simple. From here, I'm actually going to move to student view, so it looks a little bit more like what it might look like for you. In here, you'll notice, here we go, an account, dashboard, courses, calendar, inbox, history, and help buttons. So those are the buttons that you have as a student. And you'll see courses is highlighted because we are in a specific course. And now we have a dashboard menu like we had before, but we also have a course menu here. We are on the home and syllabus page to start off with, and every home and syllabus page has a recent announcement section at the top. Then it will have a listing of all of the meeting days and times for your course. Now, your practice class CC100 is just that. It is a practice class. It's not worth any points, but it's about you understanding a little bit more about how to navigate and practice some things. We encourage you to read through these recent announcements. And if you've missed our CC100 workshops that we've had so far, you can actually watch the recording right here. And that is directly on that home syllabus page under announcements. And then there are a few other things in here that you can look at. And we encourage you to get in here and look at those announcements, okay? And if you want to look at them this way too, you can. So there's a whole announcements page. As your class gets through week by week, your instructor will often have multiple announcements each week. And our homepage recent announcements area only holds up to 5. That's why there's an announcements page for you to click on. So just bear in mind, if you ever want to look at old announcements, that's where they'll be. Once you've read an announcement, the little blue dot disappears, which is why it's gone here. Let's go ahead and click on this one. We'll show you. We'll watch that blue dot disappear. So the instructor information in CC 100 is really just our student services contact. So here you can see Greg at Tempe. But in future classes, your instructor will provide their information in the announcements area as well. The next item in the menu I want to review with you is modules. When you are in the modules area, I need to reset the student view, so just bear with me 1 second. Just want to make sure that it's a brand new view. In the modules area in every class, there will be some basic things that you will see. The first thing will be an introduction module. In the introduction module, you will see your instructor welcome. You will see a questions for the instructor area. That is a public forum, so just to note, if it's a question you would like to keep private between you and the instructor, don't forget to use that help button and navigate to ask your instructor a question, because that's private between you and them. If you post here, it's a public forum, so just be aware of that. But again, your instructor welcome and questions for the instructor will be there. An introduction module in a live, in your class that starts on 6/1, it's going to have a lot more than just these things in it. Because this is a practice class, we just wanted to keep it abbreviated for you. But just note that there will be important things that your instructor will put in there that you will want to read. And if you scroll down a little bit more, in between your introduction and syllabus module, on Tuesday when you come into class, there will actually be an ebook module too. And when you go to the ebook module, you will need to create an ebook account with us by using your school email address and password. So we will be here standing by to help you if you get stuck with that, but it's a pretty simple process to access ebooks. You'll simply type in your school email address, create a password, you'll activate your account, and then you'll be able to come back in here to look at your books. If we have a few minutes left over at the end, I'll go ahead and see if we can get into a book for you. If not, please join us at tomorrow's help session where we'll go over that again. Okay, so once you've gone to modules and you've looked over the various introduction items, I'm going to click on one for you just to see. It's clickable. And again, this is just instructor information. You can navigate with our next button, or you can simply come back up to modules. But modules is essentially where most of your coursework gets done. So that's where you're spending most of your time when you come in here, okay? So the next thing that I'll point out to you is there is a syllabus acknowledgement section in every class, and you must acknowledge your syllabus, get a green check mark here in order to open up your Module 1 work. As you can see, it's locked because we have a prerequisite that's the syllabus acknowledgement. In order for me to acknowledge my syllabus, though, I first need to open the syllabus, so I'll go ahead and click on it. I have the option to download the syllabus by clicking on this link, and our syllabuses do download as PDFs, so make sure that you have a PDF reader so that you can open that syllabus, okay? And here's an example. It's just a practice syllabus, so it's only 1 page. Just know that most syllabuses are about, syllabi rather, are about 4 or 5 pages long a piece. So that's what they're normally like. Once you've reviewed your syllabus, it is going to be important for you to go on to this next button here and complete that syllabus acknowledgement. Now, remember, there's multiple ways to do things in here. I can click the next button like this, and it takes me to that quiz, but I could have also clicked on modules, scrolled down and gone to the quiz this way, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look at our syllabus acknowledgement quiz. I like this practice assignment because it gives you a feel for what a real quiz is like as well. Quizzes in a live class will have a due date. They will have a number of points, a number of questions. If there is a time limit, that will be shown. And then it will also show you the number of times attempted, allowed attempts, that is. And in this case on the syllabus, it's unlimited. So we're going to go ahead and click Take the Quiz. And then there are 2 questions, and it's the same 2 questions in every class. You need to acknowledge that you've received and read your syllabus and click Next. And then you want to verify that you've reviewed your course outline and that you understand what's going to be due each week. So you'll click True for that. And when you click submit quiz, it will take you to a page that will show you if you got the assignments correct. And then in the upper right corner, it tells you that you could take the quiz again. So it's just a really good way of seeing not only what the syllabus acknowledgement is like, but also what a quiz would be like. Now that we've done this, if we scroll down to the bottom, we could hit next to go to module 1. But I'm a big module person. I prefer just clicking directly on the modules link. And then once I've looked at some things and I've done looking at them for now, I can actually collapse them to kind of get them out of the way so they don't take up so much space on my page. But what you'll notice is here's our green check mark, and here's our green check mark. So we did this piece here. Every time you get into a new class, you're going to be doing that. That's why I'm showing it to you. And then the next thing that you'll notice is that our prerequisite is no longer, the prerequisite is completed. We do no longer have that little lock here. And so now we can take a look at the 2 practice assignments that are in the class. The first one is a discussion assignment. Now you might wonder, what in the world is a discussion assignment? You will have a discussion assignment if your class is fully online, and that is to be your form of participation within the class. So think of it like this. If you were sitting in a live class and you had an instructor lecturing to you, he or she might talk a little bit about the topic for the day and then ask some questions and then ask the students to raise their hands to answer them. And that creates a discussion. In an online classroom, we create a discussion by providing you with something to read or a video to watch. I'm gonna go ahead and click on it to show you. So we might give you something to read or a video to watch, and then we give you a writing prompt. That writing prompt might be in the form of a question, or it might be something like, tell us about, the 6 navigation items we covered tonight. That wouldn't be a question. No pop quizzes tonight. But anyway, that's a good example. Another one is this particular practice question, and that is, what is your computer and internet backup plan? I cannot tell you in my 15 plus years of working with online students that oftentimes students will contact us and say that their internet has cut out, your computer is no longer working, they've had something happen, and maybe they're having a disruption of their utilities, something like that. So we always want folks, students like yourselves, to think about ways that you could have reliable internet or computer access in the event that there's a disruption to your internet service or your computer is broken. That would be a backup plan. A backup plan can include things like, if my internet goes down, I will go to the library. I will use the library internet. I will use a library computer. That's a great example. Another one might be, my sister has a computer I can borrow. My brother has a hotspot, those kinds of things. So the question, so here's our little sort of our writing prompt. Here's the question we're going to answer with some instructions. Those instructions say, click the reply button below and share with us the ways you'll maintain access to the classroom. If you've never posted to a discussion board in here or anywhere before necessarily, you have a video here that will show you how to do that. And then further down, we have a important note that just talks about discussion board postings and typically what an initial response would require. And that's about 150 words for your initial response. And then we ask that you do that by Wednesday each week. So it's pretty predictable. And then we ask that you reply to the posts of 2 other students by Sunday. So pretty simple. I'll go ahead and demonstrate. I'm just going to grab some text up here that allows me to post something. You'll notice I am test student, so you'll see this a lot in this area. You'll see I've been doing this for a couple of weeks now, bringing people on board. But when I'm ready to type my answer, I will simply click that reply button. I can type directly into this box, or I can copy and paste. And what you'll see here, and if I do this right, this will get us to about 150 words. There we go. Just to give you an idea of about what 150 words looks like, about the size of an initial post. And this is it. Here we see 157 words. So I'm close enough. Once I'm happy with my response, I will then click the post reply button. And then my test post will come down here. As you can see, it says that was entered at 7:07. And if I then am ready from this point, if I'm ready to reply to another student like Pearl here, I would reply directly underneath her message. So I would click on this and maybe give her some feedback. And I might say something like, excellent idea, Pearl. I am going to do the same thing. Once you are ready with that, and just to say, this is just a practice class. You can, again, look down here. Remember that when you're responding to another student in a live class, you really want this to be, well, really, this is 11. You really want this to be about 50 words. So imagine about 5 sentences, that should do it. But just for this class, I'm going to go ahead and post that. When I post the reply to Pearl, what you'll notice is instead of it going to the very bottom as the last post, it actually goes right underneath Pearl, so Pearl can actually read the message. And that's how a discussion board works. It's pretty nice. You can see there's some other folks in here making some posts. Really great job. Please get in there, take some time and communicate with some other students. It's always really great to make some new friends when you come into school. I hope you make some great connections in your classes. This is one way to do that, through discussion. Once you've done your discussion post each week, you'll come back to your modules and you'll read through some other things. Now, remember that this is a practice class. These 2 assignments, this is not typical of a class. Most classes have a lot of different things for you to do. If we have a second, I'm going to take you in there, but we have to wrap up with just a couple of other things in here first. The next assignment that we're going to show you is how to upload a Word document. Now, to upload a Word document is important because we often have students writing papers in their classes, and to write a paper, we need you to use something like Word to be able to turn it in. Now, I have provided 6 step-by-step instructions here, and I've actually already done steps 1 and 2. I have a Microsoft Office account. I've downloaded and installed Microsoft Word, so it was really easy for me to do this. I just opened up Microsoft Word, opened up a new document, and then after the document opened, I simply typed my name into it to have some content, and then I saved it. So that part of it's done. But what I'm going to show you now is actually how to submit the assignment. So we're going to click on this Start Assignment button in the upper right corner of the screen. And then in the File Upload menu right here at the bottom of the page, we're going to click on Choose File, and we're going to select the Word document. Okay, so here's Choose File. I'm going to look for my Word document. There it is, has my name on it, like I said. I'll click Open. Now that file is attached, okay? I have to then come down here and click on Submit Assignment at the bottom of the File Upload menu. And then I'm going to scroll up to the top of the page as indicated in step 6. And we see this great confetti. But what step 6 is, hey, scroll up to the top of the page to make sure your assignment is submitted, and this one is. So there we have it. And that concludes the practice assignments within the modules. Now, that just gives you a brief overview. A couple of things I want to point out within your course menu, and it will be set up in your live classes when you start on Tuesday, is if you were to click on Zoom, that will tell you of any upcoming class meetings that are occurring, any meetings that had already previously happened, and then if your instructor recorded the session, which they should do, there should be cloud recordings listed here. If for some reason you come to this area and there is nothing there, the best thing to do is send a message to that instructor by using the Ask Your Instructor a Question button, or check the announcements, because I have seen some instructors list their information under announcements and not Zoom. So if that happens, or if you get confused, feel free to reach out to us or reach out to that instructor directly. I'm going to show you a gradebook in a moment, but I want to show it to you from a live class. So I'm going to come back to gradebook, but this is where you'll check your grades right under Zoom. I want to review these last couple of things. Pages is simply resources. Each one of these little tabs is considered a page, and it has a number of resources on it for you. We have our catalog and handbook. We have technical support, but honestly, I think our help button's a little bit easier to get to. You have Canvas help, which is just generic Canvas help. I don't think it's as helpful to you as just using that help button or contacting one of us, whether that's, again, student services or tech support. But one of the other things that's really great over here is our library resources. Now, if you look in our menu here, there is a virtual library available to you, but Pages is where we have our librarian listed. Our librarian here under library resources has listed some other things as well. She's put the Learn link here and some of the research databases that we have. But if we scroll way down to the bottom of this section, there's also a Learn Portal orientation video. I believe it's pretty short, just a few minutes, but that will give you some library and information resource network info. And again, we're in Pages, and that's library resources. We discussed Well Connect a little earlier, that's here. And also all of us in student services are listed in this student services area also, and you can see our folks here, okay? The other button you'll notice is people. That will show you everyone in your course. So they will come up here. Some folks have already started to add their pictures. That's awesome. And here's that virtual library. It will open up a new window. You can search all of the databases for articles here. You can also go, let me just move that out of the way. You can also go directly to a particular subject matter area and go look at the databases this way. Just remember, once you get in here, if you find an article and are having any trouble opening it, make sure that you come back to pages, and you can definitely reach directly out to our librarian right here. I think the easiest thing to do maybe is to write this down or keep it handy somewhere, is library@brooklinecollege.edu to get some answers there. And then the final piece in here I'm going to be clicking on, I have to actually leave Student View to show you, and that is BrainFuse Help Now. BrainFuse Help Now is our tutoring service we talked about earlier. You'll simply click on Launch BrainFuse. You will land on the home page, and then you can select your topic for live help here. And then you want to make sure that you check tutor availability, because as I said, writing and English and math are 24/7, but not all services are. Some of them, for example, under nursing and allied health, like medical terminology, if I check tutoring availability, you'll see that Sunday through Thursday, 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Mountain Time. So if you're not sure or can't remember how to use this, just reach out to one of us. We can help you. You do have the ability to receive tutoring with audio. And then when you're ready, you simply click the connect button. On the right of the connect button, you'll be able to see how many minutes the session has been running. Or I'm sorry, not the session's been running, how many minutes you have used in previous sessions. And then you'd simply click connect and it will get you in this way. Okay, so I'm going to pause that, and then I want to just really quickly show you a grade book, and then I'm going to turn this thing back over and move us forward on to getting wrapped up with Ray. So just bear with me 1 second while I show you a live grade book. It'd be much better for you to see one with a lot of grades in it so you kind of know what to look for, okay? So I'm going to actually pop into one of our most popular classes called SS100. And I'm going to go into the grade book, and I'm going to open up an individual grade book so we can take a look at it. And I'm going to go ahead and share that. So just give me 1 second while I zoom in. All right, here we are. So here is the grade book. We can see the names of the assignments that will appear here on the left. You'll also see that they are listed chronologically by due date. Then there is a score, which is where you'll see the points that you earned. And then out of is the total possible points. So if we keep scrolling down, you'll see a couple of different things, and I want to explain what they are. If you see points, that item has been graded. If you see a line, that means you haven't turned it in yet. If you see a piece of paper or a chat bubble, that means you have turned something in, it just hasn't been reviewed. And at the very bottom, you'll get to see a consolidated review of everything that you have turned in. And so that's a little bit about the classroom. I hope it was helpful. I realize it's a bit of a crash course, but I just wanted to confirm what we looked at, and then give you a little summary view and kind of open up for questions and turn it back over to Ray. So let me go ahead and share. I just want to verify with Greg or Ray, can you see my screen that says summary? Just want to make sure.
Yes, I can.
Yeah, all right. So today we talked about your important school contacts. We got to meet some really great people. We reviewed some of the academic requirements for your program and the different ways we can support you. The big thing we need you to do now is make sure that you start taking the steps to activate your student account and get logged into all of our systems. Now, in order to review your checklist for success, I'm going to pop that up on the screen here. Oops. Oh, it looks like it disappeared. Oh no, I guess we don't have one. Well, your checklist for success is all of this, guys. So we want you to be able to get into the online classroom. And in that classroom, we want you to be able to try those practice assignments. We'd also love to see you at the session tomorrow. And again, you'll be receiving an invitation to attend that. But for now, what I'd like to do is turn it over to question and answer, see if there's anything coming into the chat that we need to address. So Ray, or Greg, is there anything there that you're seeing that we need to address?
Don't see any questions in the chat, but don't leave us hanging here. Even if it's what the winning lotto numbers are, I can take a stab at that, I guess.
Awesome.
But yeah, just to second what you said there, Jen, is we definitely do encourage everybody, if you have any questions, please come to the technology help sessions tomorrow. More than happy to help anybody out. Even if right now you think you've got it, you know what I mean, ready to rock and roll. Just make sure you get in there. Everybody knows what they say about assumptions. Don't wait till the very last minute, the day before class or anything like that. Jump in there a little bit ahead of time. You will save yourself so much stress and frustration, and life is too short for all that jazz. So take a stab, get logged in, get your Microsoft Office 365 set up, get logged into Canvas. And, if you run into any challenges, please attend one of the help sessions, and we'll be more than happy to assist.
Oh, thank you so much, Greg. Ray, anything
Thank
you'd like
you.
to add before we end for today?
No, not real. Well, yes, one quick thing.
Please.
So basically, guys, I know that, school is school, right? It's learning new things, it's experiencing new things, and at the end, we're going to help with the career.
Mhm.
And so knowing all of these things, ask for help. I can't state that enough. Ask for help. If you don't understand something, or something looks weird, or hey, I've never seen that before, say something. You
Mhm.
have an instructor that's there constantly. You've got Miss Greenwood, you've got Mr. Gregg, you got all of us here. You have the whole admission staff, you have financial. There's so many people that you can go to instead of saying, I quit.
That's
Okay.
right.
We're here to assist you all the way through. Use us. Not too many guys will say, hey, use
Mhm.
me, girl. Hey, use me. Use me. Call us if we can help, we will. And my team will be reaching out with you guys tomorrow. Even on Saturday if need to, because we are working this Saturday. I know we're probably the only team that is. And then even on Tuesday, to see what you need to help, to get through everything. Okay. And you have all these connections and things like that. So we're